Hi, students. Welcome to my public administration lecture series. In this lecture, we would be taking a look on the evolution of public administration in India. So, public administration today is, of course, all about implementation of government policies, and it has developed into an academic discipline that studies this implementation and also is responsible for preparing civil servants for various jobs in public service sectors. Today, public administration is centrally concerned with the organization of government policies and programs, as well as it is responsible for the behavior of the officials and is also formally responsible for their conduct. Now, let's take a look at our topic, how public administration has evolved to this status that we see today. Its evolution can actually be traced in terms of three phases: ancient phase, medieval phase, and the modern phase. Let's take a look at the ancient phase. In the ancient phase, as that has been mentioned in our Vedic literature, tribal system of administration was followed. People lived in groups called tribes. Every tribe had a tribal chief, and he was responsible for the administration of the tribe. The tribal chief was also supported by Sabha, an assembly of elders, and Samiti, an assembly of people. However, we see that even though the tribal chief was responsible for the protection of his tribal members, he had no revenue system, nor he had control over the land. And so they resorted to wars, and the booty from the wars was shared among the members. And then we see the first form of state during the times of Manu. People elected Manu as their king, and they paid him service fees as taxes for looking after them. They also treated Manu as their god. Further, in our literature, like Ramayana, Mahabharata, and also in our Vedic times, the king was regarded as the sole administrator of the land. The king was, however, helped by Purohit, the priest, Senani, the warrior clan, apart from treasurer, steward, spies, messengers, charioteer, and superintendent of diocese. Further, during the ancient phase, we do have literature that tells that our Indian administrative system was very well developed, and the merit for this goes to Kautilya's Arthashastra. Kautilya had written Arthashastra during this period, and this gives a very good detail about our Indian administrative system. According to him, the state comprises of 8 elements, namely the king, minister, country, fort, treasury, army, friend, and enemy. And the state's prime function was to maintain law and order, punishing the wrongdoers, and protecting the subjects. Let's take a look at the evolution of public administration during the medieval phase. Much of the development in our Indian administrative system during the medieval phase goes to the Mauryan rulers. Decentralization was prevalent as the village units played a very important role as the base of administration since ancient times. During the medieval phase, we see that the empires were divided into provinces, provinces were divided into districts, districts into rural and urban centers for efficient administration. Now let's take a look at the modern phase. The present system has its roots from the British administrative system. The Indian administrative system adopted systems like the parliamentary system, judicial system, and rule of law from the British administrative system. Lord Cornwallis developed the Civil Services Code, and so he is aptly known as the father of modern civil services. Several notable acts were laid down by them, like the Indian Penal Code, Contract Act, the Government of India Act 1919, Arms Act, Vernacular Press Act, Transfer Rights Act, etc., for the smooth functioning of their British officials. So we thus see how our public administration system has transitioned to the modern phase, or the phase that we see today, slowly from the ancient phase through the medieval phase to the modern phase, which has much credit to the British administrative system. So that brings us to the end of this session. Thank you.